Welcome to Top Dealer Podcast, the show where we talk innovative and disruptive automotive dealer strategies from around the world with some of the leading general managers and owners of dealerships and help you understand what you can do today to future-proof your business and to go to the next level. I'm Dave Benson and our co-host is Glenn Lundy. Ready for strategies? Let's tune in. This week's episode is sponsored by carloan.com. If your dealership is looking to grow its special finance department, Interactive Financial Marketing's carloan.com lead program will do exactly that. They're the largest generator of organic, exclusive leads in the automotive industry, spending around $1 million per month in PPC. Tell them the Hustle and Grind team sent you for pricing that you will love. Check out their website at www.interactivefmg.com. Welcome to the Top Dealer Show. I'm Dave Benson. This is the show where we bring the most innovative and disruptive strategies from dealerships around the world, and today is no different. I, of course, as always, have my co-host Glenn Lundy on the line. How are you, Glenn?
I am doing fantastic, Dave Benson. How are things down there in Mexico, my man?
Are you kidding me, man? It's a little bit warmer. It's a little bit warmer than Paris, Kentucky. But man, we've got an awesome guest on today. Hey.
Oh man, Brad Wise. I've been waiting. This is the whole reason I wanted to do the podcast, was so that we could talk to this guy right here.
Well, this guy, Brad Wise, let me introduce him. He's the general manager of Furman Chevrolet and Mazda down there in Tampa, Florida, the beautiful Tampa, Florida. Nearly good as climate as it is here in Mexico. And we've had the privilege, both Glenn and myself had the privilege to get to know Brad over the last few years. And it's a privilege to have you on the program of Top Dealer, Brad. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Dave and Glenn. It's a privilege to be on the show. I think when I heard that this podcast was coming into existence, I was excited for it. Didn't really think I'd be on it, where it's devoted to general managers' point of view of things, which I think we need more of that. And I'm happy to contribute.
Well,
Awesome,
look, let's jump straight to it, Brad. Like there's so many cliche topics out there and there's so much training and stuff like that, but we're talking about innovation and disruption. What does innovation and disruption mean to you as a general manager of a dealership in 2018?
Well, from a dealership specific, I think the industry is slow to change. And we've been doing the same things over and over again. And we still complain about turnover, or we complain about shrinking margins. But I find there's not a lot of creativity, a lot of risk taking, a lot of testing of things as much as there are in other industries. So that is something that is a strength of ours, is that we're willing to try new things, take cues from other businesses and apply them to the car business. I think innovation stands out. Yeah, I mean, it's a crowded world out there. Whether you're thinking of creative advertising hooks, or you're thinking of the guest experience in the showroom, but then the ideas are great, but without the implementation and the buy-in and the longevity of an idea, I mean, that's what kind of juices me. I mean, that's my role at the dealership is to come up with these innovative ideas and then put them in the game and see how the plays play out, whether we're winning or if they don't work, you can ditch them. So
Absolutely.
The industry, I think it's an advantage that we have, is that a lot of dealerships don't want to change, or they don't know the information. Maybe somebody's been there a long time and is kind of set in your ways. We kind of thrive on that kind of a competitive edge.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Let's you mentioned the word, which I agree with you 100%. It's kind of a unique market. I mean, there's so much potential and money and opportunity in the auto industry, but yet it's such a slow crawler, right? Like, if you can just get up on two legs and jog a little bit, you can usually outrun your competition, which is great. You mentioned the word turnover and how a lot of people still complain about turnover and the turnover we have in the auto industry. What's it look like in your store? How is the turnover at your place?
Well, I just celebrated my first year here, and our
Well,
turnover.
congratulations.
Well, thank you. And it's been a process of, getting the right people on the bus. We had everybody read The Energy Bus by John Gordon, which is pretty much trying to eliminate as many energy vampires as possible. So we've gone through some turnover, but I call that good turnover. And I have a lot of the cliches, and I say them all the time at work. But again, I say it on purpose just to reinforce the point, is that our mantra here is nothing bad happens here. I stole it. That's a ripoff of a good friend and trainer of mine named Mike Udell. He gave me that term, and as soon as he said it, it just ran into my bones. That's exactly what I'm about. Is that I like to have fun at work. We spend more time at work than we do with our own families. So to have an environment that is toxic, that is not uplifting, that's not motivating, that's not developing people, I'm out on that. If you're not in alignment with me on all those things, then you can't work here. And I'm sure other dealerships would love to have some of these people because they don't buy into that to the self-development aspect that I'm so passionate about. But I'm not afraid to make a move with somebody who's a high been here a long time, that has operated at a high level from the selling cars or selling finance or service. But if they don't fit in the culture, you're Al Qaeda to me. And it's just what it is. So that's such a thing called good turnover. But as far as the subject of turnover, I revert back to, I've been doing this 30 years, and I still think Joe Verdi has a lot of good points that he made in his book 30 years ago or whatever, is that it's the bad schedule and the bad pay plan and the bad manager. That's it. I mean, it's no secret.
Right.
So if I'm interviewing a young college grad at a car dealership, and I sit him down and tell him all about the hours and all about the unsteady pay and the holidays and the weekends and all that, and he goes back and tells his spouse, "Well, what do you think?" Nobody's in on that. Just a few freaks like me, Glenn Lundy, and a few other people, but the rest of the world is not in on that,
right?
Especially the millennial world. So our competitive advantage, we don't have a schedule here. We don't have a pay plan here. It's sort of like professional sports, where you sign your own contract. If you're a proven superstar and you fit into our culture and you have a long-term view of the business, I don't care when you come to work, and we can make the pay work depending on what motivates you. Because even just recently, I've discovered trying to put a square into a round hole, you just beat yourself to death. So we took all of our people, and at least in the management team, because I know this is a general manager mostly viewed podcast, is that we accentuate what people are good at, their strengths, and put them in those roles. If one person's good at closing, or one person's good at counseling and doing one-on-ones, and another guy's really good at the internet, I'm putting them in those roles with a defined job description, so they know what it is that they're supposed to be doing every day. So I know I got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but it's that bad pay plan, it's the bad schedule, and the bad manager. Simple as that.
Man, I love all of that, Dave. I don't know if I'm going to let you get a word in on this podcast. I'm going to tell you right now.
I think we're done. I think you just threw out so much gold. I think we can finish the podcast. No, keep going, Glenn.
My goodness. I mean, there's just so much to that. Everything that you just said right there, Brad, which is so powerful. When I was managing the store, we called them character building days, right? We never had a bad day in the dealership. It was always a character building day. And what could we learn from it? And the Energy Bus, I love that book. And I've also, I got the Energy Bus for kids. I've got my kids reading that same book because it's so powerful. But I had not heard the no pay plan, no schedule. Are you serious about that?
Yeah, I'm serious. I mean, I've paid front money. I mean, I'll just say this because my salespeople aren't listening, probably. But I've paid front money to get people here that are, high draft picks, and they're worth it to me. And then other people may not get that front money. And
sure.
if let's say that a superstar is passionate about a hobby that's always on Saturday, or let's say, or always on a certain day, I'm gonna try real hard to make that work for that person, because the better people that I have, my odds increase of winning. It's just like being a college football coach. You know, Nick Saban's got to get on a plane and he's got to fly to Nebraska and he's got to have breakfast with that 300-pound linebacker that he's trying to get to come play football at Alabama. And if I can put the best people on the field, you know, I'm going to win, because I'm really competing against the sales staffs and the service staffs and the finance staffs down the street. I'm not competing with manufacturer, Chevrolet or Mazda. It's the salespeople. And my hope is, not my hope, but my hallucination is that down the street, they have the bad culture. They have the bad pay plan. And my vision is to be a place where it's really hard to get a job here. Really hard. It has that sort of Yankees sort of mystique where it's, yeah, you have to be just at a very, very high level of integrity in salespersonship. You have to be a self-development person, and you have to just be head and shoulders above anybody else. That we're not there. We're not there at all. But you know, it's only been a year, but that's what we're trying to do. That our doors just keeps knocking with people that can solve problems, because this job is just solving problems. That's simply what it is, and do it in a guest-focused way, not in a, you know, short-cutting, negative way.
Beautiful. I love it.
Man, I love what you said about, you know, it's a salesperson versus salesperson game now. You know, you've drew plenty of sports analogies, but it's always the players on the field that make the difference. What do you do? Like, one of the topics that we obviously talk about a lot with Sales Hustlers and Hustle and Grind Con, we've talked a lot about is personal branding and allowing salespeople to create and encouraging them to create their own leads. What is your standpoint on personal branding with your salespeople in your dealership?
Well, this kind of flows into that subject. Is my two top salespeople we give them assistants that we pay for. So I look at that as that they're the doctor and their assistants are the nurse. So when Glenn goes in to a doctor's appointment, he's not spending that much time with the doctor. He's spending the important time with the doctor. And the nurse is getting the vitals and weighing him and asking him questions and then setting the appointment for the next one. So as far as salesperson development wise, this gives them the time to do those personal branding or even assist the salesperson with that. Imagine the assistant is just recording video content all day, or actually going out and finding a prospect on the lot and bringing them in for their salesperson that they work for, or helping at delivery, or taking. Well, one of the big initiatives for 2019 is focusing on referrals and repeats. And we're going to do that by strongly requesting the guest to post their picture of their car on their Facebook, along with a voucher for friends and families of $500 that they can pass on to their friends. Now, these assistants can help these salespeople get that organized, convince the guests to be on Facebook, and make that go viral. So just to say it one more time, it's a friends and family $500 coupon to say, hey, look at me, I just bought a car. It's a huge life event. People on Facebook are going to see that. But then for my family and friends, you know, tag somebody that could use this, screenshot this, bring it into Furman, they'll save you an extra $500. So my hallucination is if we sell 500 cars a month, that's 500 viral messages that are spreading out into the social media world that cost me nothing. And just some of the training that I've recently gone through is focusing on your very best and most profitable customers, which are repeats and referrals. So
right.
That's one of maybe 5 things I'm really going to focus on for 2019 is the repeats and referrals on Facebook with the salespeople. Then from there they can develop their brand and stay in contact with them. So that would be one thing. And then I just can't overemphasize how well the assistants are working out for our salespeople. If you sell 20 cars a month, I'm paying for your assistant.
Nice.
If you don't, then you got to pay for it. Or I'll even go half on one. If you're a 15 car guy and you think you can get to 20, I'll pay half. But if you can't get to 20, you're paying for that. So these assistants are excellent, and they work for them. They technically work for me, but they follow the direction of their top dog.
That's beautiful, man. I love all of that. That's talk about disruptive. That's great and very, very, very smart on the marketing. It empowers your salespeople to still, like you said, build their brand, but at the same time, you're pushing the dealership out, using this incredible technology that we never have had before, and being able to push out and push out and push out. It's absolutely beautiful. One thing I know about you is you are a self-development. Um, you're just as addicted as I am to self-development. I want to talk. We talk about training in the auto industry and how important training is to the auto industry. And obviously, we have sales trainers, and obviously we have sales training platforms, and we've got the road to the sale. We have all of this stuff that we've been training on for years and years and years and years and years. Define what training looks like in a Brad Wise store.
I've had success in all 3 stores that I've worked at, and had very fast success and rapid success. And and if someone were to ask me, and I get this question a lot, and the answer is pretty simple, and it's I don't think people believe it, but a lot of it is cheerleading. I'm a cheerleader. I'm always with my people. I'm in their office. I'm mixing it up with them. I'm doing the car talk with them, but I'm making statements to them that they understand the reason why I'm making those statements in a uplifting way. I slap in high fives, but I'm also making statements that lets them know that I know what's going on, and I'm not a person that just hides in my office. And it started with, I used to do inspirational Thursday meetings at a store that I worked at, where we would watch something on the screen, motivating. And then that just kind of got even more 10x. And with me, really quickly, it just started with me because I had a long commute to work. And I didn't want to keep listening to Howard Stern, even though I love Howard Stern. I turned it off, and I just became consumed with podcasts, self-development books, interviews, biographies, and it really has benefited me. I could go on for hours about that, but I'm going to answer the question. One thing I stole from you guys is our Saturday meetings are epic, much like they were at Dan Cummins. But what we've done this year is that we do a sales hustler spotlight every Saturday, and we're finding out things about our people, our managers, that none of us knew. And there's tears that get shed in these Saturday meetings because of these stories.
That's awesome.
And what you cannot leave these meetings without seeing that the humble beginnings. My number one salesperson is the number one Chevrolet salesperson in the Southeast region, which encompasses about 9 or 10 states. And he has only been in this country for 4 years. He's from Iraq. He was walking the streets in front of the dealership and was kicked out of every car dealership in town. This store gave him a chance 4 years ago. For the interest of time, he has a new Corvette. His wife drives an Escalade. They go out to dinner all the time. It's amazing that the car business can give you everything. And that's a perfect example of someone who didn't speak the language. He was made fun of because of his accent. He didn't understand the social cues that go with being an American, but yet his determination and hard work. He asked me the other month, if he could power wash the inventory on the weekends when we're closed. Is that a sales hustler or what? I said, get out of here.
Awesome.
That's ridiculous. And this is someone that's retailing 40 cars a month, and he has his wife working with him as his assistant. But it's that hustle like an immigrant mentality that the car business is just made perfect for. And you don't have to be an immigrant. You just have to think like one. And you also have to think like an entrepreneur, that you're in business for yourself. So as a leader, inspirational wise, you gotta open that box of what's possible, and get rid of limiting statements and limiting beliefs, and believe in auto suggestion, and have goals, and see the way your life, jot down exactly how you want your life to be, and read it and get a plan, because we really don't have a knowing problem anymore. We have a doing problem with the internet. And whatever it is that you want to achieve, it can be done. So our Saturday meetings, and then we have on Tuesdays, and Mondays are usually 100% self-development, very little to do with selling cars. Um, we're trying to make a difference. We're trying to. The other day we played Jason Mraz "Have It All," his new
Right.
hit, and we want everyone to. That's what my wish for all of them is, to have it all, and personally and professionally. And I feel like I know a thing or two in that area, and it's the purpose of my life is to share that with them and make them do more, become more. And I think it was Sean Hayes that said that when you make them better people, they'll become better car salespeople, better service advisors, better finance. I couldn't agree with that more.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Brad, can you just check your email? Because I just sent through my resume. I'd like to start on Monday. That'll be.
Come on down.
Glenn Lundy, I mean, at least it's not cold. I wonder if that guy that was power washing the cars would shovel snow. I'm sure he would if you were up north, but thank goodness you're in Florida. Glenn Lundy, man, I tell you what, everything's within me is wanting to apply and be at Brad's dealership. This is great testimony.
Yeah, man, he gets it. Brad gets it. And I hope everybody that's listening, if you have to, go back and replay this a few times, listen to it while you're on your commute in the car. This is the kind of stuff that the industry needs to know. It's all about teaching people life skills, not just job skills. We can teach them how to sell cars. It's not going to do any good. It's not going to do any good in the long run. And like Brad said, the motivation has got to be we want them to win. This industry, it's such a unique industry. It's like the only industry I can think of where you don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have credentials. You don't have to really have anything other than that immigrant work ethic, like he was talking about. You really don't have to have anything but that, and you can achieve just about anything in this industry. I've seen detailers that now drive Corvettes. I've got 22-year-old kids buying houses and getting married and making an impact on the planet, and they're giving back. That's one of the great things that we taught there is, we don't just, it's not just for us, it's about helping others and lifting others. And so all of the ripple effects like with what Brad's doing here, the ripple effects that it has on the planet, not just in the dealership, but I mean, I can only imagine what it's like in the dealership. That's a small little area to contain all that energy. But as that energy spreads out even further and further across the community, it's just powerful. And I applaud you for it, Brad. I really do applaud you for it, because we have been grown and molded from the previous generation. And that's why we love those 15-hour work days. That's why we have no problems with those 6-day work weeks, is because we were grown and molded to get your teeth kicked in every day and just go out there and do the work, go out there and sell cars. And that's what's put our industry and given our industry the reputation that it has, that we're fighting against it now. And so, Brad, you're on point, man. You're on point. And I just absolutely love what you're doing with your team. I've seen you talk to me a little bit about some of the other outside the box things. I know you bring in some catered meals for your team. I see you doing things like that. Like, what are some of the other maybe outside the box things that you do to keep your team, all bought in and energized?
We're heavy into video, text message. Every lead that comes in, phone, internet, chat, we hired 3 video marketing people, the kind of people that not car people. We ran an ad for people who specialize in marketing, or specialize in video marketing and editing. We hired these 3 individuals to help the salespeople create custom videos. They know the technology, and it's just amazing what they're able to make and what they're able to do. So originally, when I kicked off the initiative of wanting to do text message video, I was under the mercy of salespeople, some doing it and some don't. Some are good at it, some aren't. Some will do it, some won't. So then I use a lot of my training, what a business training that I've had, is I need to be resourceful. there's got to be a way. So I ran that ad for the video marketing people. They've been here 8 or 9 months, and the amount of content that gets spit out of this dealership that's creative and funny and compelling. I'm sure, I know that other prospects aren't getting this first lead response that we're sending out. And then you can even use that to take videos of celebrating someone's birthday, or you could do videos of email blast videos, or we just did a missed appointment video that's really funny, that's sad, where if you were a consumer and you saw the missed appointment video, you would laugh and smile like, we were really hoping you would have been here. We were ready for you. You know, we're kind of sad. You know, it's hard to explain, but that's a fun.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
it's a fun video. As you missed your appointment, please call us back. So that's something innovative about hiring a video marketing team to just kind of make videos, and then they learn this. They learn the CRM in 3 days. Okay, that's right into their strong suit, where car salespeople in general. Yeah, it's in their wheelhouse. So they just to keep sending videos to prospects, sending videos to prospects. So that's something that was a goal all of 2018, that I'm happy that we became that kind of store where it's who we are, it's what we do, and that goes in tandem with our VAP appointment process, where the guest gets a tropical smoothie or a Starbucks before they get here, and the car has a balloon on it. And we do video confirmation, video text to ensure that, in other words, we went to all this trouble. The least you could do is show up. That's the gist of this.
Right.
Okay? That general manager to general manager.
Right. I'm going to jump in here real quick, though, and I'm going to play devil's advocate. General manager to general manager. You've got assistants running down ups. You've got a video team making videos for the salespeople. You've got everybody doing the salesman's job. What do you need the salesman for?
I can either that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. I want to win, Glenn. I can sit here and complain and talk to other general managers about, why do we have BDCs? Why do we have phone rooms? We have all these layers and layers of expense to try to get our salespeople to do what they want to do. But as far as assistants go, I'm only giving those to the people that are extraordinary. Okay, I'm not giving those to everybody. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get as many prospects in front of my best people. In baseball, there's a batting order, so you can't have Alex Rodriguez bat, every single time. But there are no rules in the car business. So if I could take my top 2 salespeople and get most of the opportunities in front of them, my closing ratio goes up. I mean, how many dealerships right this second, one of your new people who are unprepared, untrained, is talking to a prospect outside and didn't say anything compelling, didn't say anything of sense of urgency, or knew anything about the product, and that person's gone. That's happening every second of the day.
Right.
So whatever I'm trying to do is to get us the odds more and more in our favor by having the assistants. It gives the salesperson more time to go on the lot and grab another up. So they could have 2 or 3 going at one time. Like a doctor might have 3 or 4 different patients going on, but the nurse is tending to all of them, so the guest doesn't feel like they're, not getting the treatment. So the genesis of the assistants is for them to take more opportunities instead of being bogged down for 6 hours on a car sale.
But Brad, that's not fair.
well, you're not going to get me to be any pro snowflake here, because this business just exudes the strongest man or woman for the job. I mean, it is. I mean,
right.
I understand people don't feel that way, but this is the most fair system, because you get what you put into it. Anyone can do, just tap me on the shoulder and say, put me in, coach. I will light you up. I will give you my own personal attention of development and training, telling you what it's going to take, because I love doing that. I will take you to the top of the mountain. You just gotta, reach down and grab, I'll throw you the life preserver. You got to reach out for it. And if you do that, we'll bring you up the ladder. But unfortunately, not everybody wants to be successful. That was an epiphany I had even recently that it kind of hit me in the head. Not everybody wants to. I just assumed everybody did.
Right.
but not everybody does. And but
That's so true. I used to talk to my managers about it all the time. They'd be like, well, why? I don't understand why they won't do this. I don't understand why they won't do this. And I'm like, they don't think like you. If they thought like you, they'd be managers. If they thought like you, they'd be in leadership positions. They don't think the same. They don't have the same drive. But I'm totally just playing devil's advocate, because I am 100% in agreement with you, 100% aligned with you. It doesn't need to be fair. It's all about winning. And I think it is fair. You're right. It is a fair system. It doesn't need to be fair in the sense that we have to distribute leads equally amongst all the people, because the people are not equally talented. They don't have the equal experience. They don't have equal drive. And so what's fair to the dealership, to the person who's, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's fair to the guy whose name on the sign is for you to win. For you to win every single day. That's what's fair. So I love it. What do you think, Dave Benson? I know we just kind of left you sitting in the corner over there.
Oh, I was just finishing my resume, so that's all good. No, I love it. I mean, I'm a massive Golden State Warriors fan in the basketball. And, I think about Kevin Durant a few weeks ago was calling for the ball with 5 seconds to go, and he didn't get the ball, and then he complained because he should have got the ball. And the reality is that everybody's got different skill level, and you want your best person to take the shot. You want to read that person. You want to pay them more than you're probably paying yourself. You want to do that because it's going to be a successful place. You've obviously had some massive success in the last 12 months. You're telling me off air that the numbers, the profitability, everything is sky high. You're on track for a record year.
Yeah. I feel so unbelievably blessed to have gotten this opportunity here to come into an environment, a store, a market, a brand, an organization that is just at the very, very top of how they treat us, our people, the resources we have, the autonomy we have. I came into a store that when I interviewed here, I could see the opportunity that existed here. There's the number 1 or 2 Ford store in the country is right across the street. A huge Honda and Toyota presence here on the economy in Tampa is great. So in 2019, it's going to be more difficult to repeat our success. We're big into sayings and phrases, and one of them, Glenn's gonna love this, is next year is embrace the grind. We're gonna grind it up. We're gonna embrace the fact that we're gonna be just working out, and we're gonna do everything that nobody else wants to do, thought to do, and because that's gonna make up for the maybe there's gonna be a dip a little bit this year, but we're not gonna notice that dip because we're just gonna grind a little bit harder on the things that matter, and let everybody else figure out, what happens. Our mantra this year is when others pull back, we're going to double down. So I'm excited about that in 2019. I knew you'd like the grind part. I guess those planners would probably come in handy for that, right, Glenn? If you haven't gotten your planner yet, get online now. It's the best gift ever.
GlennMundy.com.
And grind, you'll find it.
Oh, that's funny. That's great. Well, look, Brad Wise, it has been an absolute honor to have you on Top Dealer.
He'll edit that out, Brad. Don't worry.
I don't, Glenn Lundy. This is where we have fun and we talk real stuff.
Oh, man.
More real and with Brad.
Everybody still there?
Yes, sir.
We would love to have you on for 2 hours, Brad Wise, but I appreciate your time today, and thanks for joining Top Dealer.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Top Dealer. Make sure you go and visit our website, thesaleshustlers.com, for all the other episodes, and I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode.